Good morning. I'm Terry Hickey with Dayempur Herbals. We're at Dayempur Farm today in Anna, Illinois. Really happy to be with you this morning, and we're going to be discussing 3 herbs today: Elecampane, milk thistle, and Tulsi Holy Basil. And we will be doing a drawing at the end of our time today. Anyone who asked questions last week or this week, we will draw your name and you'll have the opportunity to win a 20% off coupon for Dayempur Herbal products, and you'll be able to win a gift certificate from Susan Kamil, who is with us today, and I'll introduce her in a second. Thank you so much for being here, and we're going to keep it shorter today to 10 or 15 minutes, so please stay tuned. I'm so happy to introduce Susan Kamil, who is a licensed acupuncturist and a clinical herbalist. And we've been working together for many, many years, and Dayempur Herbals makes custom liquid extracts for Susan in her practice. So today we're going to talk about 3 of them, and we're excited to share that with you. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. It's a gorgeous day.
Yeah. So yes, let's just dive in.
We'll dive in. So we're going to talk about 3 different herbs this week. We had a theme last week, which was how do we rid the body of toxins? How do we rid the body of viruses in light of coronavirus times and what we're all wanting to do in terms of helping our immunity, helping us from getting sick. So today we're going to talk about how do we build the system? How do we build the body? Not just clearing toxins, but then what do we do once we've cleared them? How do we stay healthy throughout and maintain that? So let's talk about those maintenance herbs. We've got one right here. The first one we're going to start with, as we mentioned, is milk thistle. And as you can tell, it has a beautiful milky leaf to it, a milky vein. It has been known to also help women with breastfeeding who have a lack in milk. And it is we actually harvest the seed. So we use the seed for it, and the temperature of milk thistle is actually very neutralizing. So it's a wonderful herb. Really, everybody should be on milk thistle pretty much at any point. It's just a matter of dosaging and how much and how often, which of course I can help you with that if you're interested in knowing more about how to work with herbs on a maintenance level. And milk thistle, like I said, is a very neutral herb, so it helps to build spleen qi, so it's great for the digestion. And it also helps to tonify liver, blood, and yin. So let me break that down a little bit. So whenever we're associating anything with the liver, this herb is very much associated with the liver. So anything related to that. So in Chinese medicine, that's going to be the eyes, the tendons, the sinews. If one tends to be irritable, just like an irritable mood, it's going to be helpful for that. Any agitation, has anyone ever experienced that? Especially during these times. So it's very soothing to the body, but at the same time energizing. Remember, it's neutral, so it helps to build spleen qi, so kind of warm up the digestion, but it also really helps to soothe any agitation. This can also be a great herb for people who are on intense medications or any medications where it might go through the liver. Another way it can be supportive is if someone is dealing with alcoholism, drug abuse. It's very helpful with helping to move through that. So milk thistle is truly an herb that, like I said, everybody should be on at some point in their life. It's definitely a go-to. I probably use this about 98% of the time in everybody's formulas. Everybody needs this.
So Susan, you do a beautiful job of making herb blends. So Dayempur Herbals makes individual tinctures, and then Susan, as a clinical herbalist, knows exactly what your body needs and will add 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 different herbs together to make a specialized formula for you. To add on about the milk thistle, as you were talking about it, yes, we do use the seeds, and the seeds come out of the flower head that we saw just a second ago. In one flower head, you might have as many as 100 seeds in that one flower head. It's just amazing. And in Western medicine, we tend to consider it a liver cleanser, and I guess that would be tonifying, is what you're speaking to. The silymarin in the milk thistle is the active agent that helps the body stimulate the release of bile, so that will then help cleanse the liver. I'm wondering if you would speak to what tonifying actually means.
Yes. Well, tonifying, like I said, from a Chinese medicine perspective, means it's going to help to build. So what does that mean? there are two main things that we're going to be building in Chinese medicine, which is qi, which is the activity of the body, the movement of the body. We all need more energy. Qi is energy. And then the second thing is substance. So that would be blood and yin. These are kind of big words in Chinese medicine, the big B, the big Y. So blood and yin are the vital substance of our body. And really every body needs both. So if we have enough energy, we can actually move that vital substance. If we have enough vital substance, then we have something to move. So it's very interrelated. And this one thing I did forget to mention is that milk thistle is also related to the eyes. So any floaters, it helps to build, that's a blood deficiency. So milk thistle helps to tonify or build blood. If you have floaters in your eyes, that's due to the vital substance that's associated with the liver and henceforth the eyes. It is minimal, it's not enough, and we tend to get this over time in our life. We tend to become more blood and yin deficient. So as that starts to wear away, that's why we need these tonifying herbs to help supplement what, in a sense, we're losing as we age, which doesn't have to be ungraceful. We can all gather things from nature to help us improve our process through our stages. And if you have also milk thistle, as I know Western medicine talks about it, for allergies. So specific allergies that are related to red, itchy eyes, our milk thistle is going to be your herb, your go-to herb. Again, it's associated with the eyes. If something is red and itchy, that means it's overheated. There's not that cooling substantive aspect to the body. Again, milk thistle helps to build blood and yin.
And it does, as you said earlier, it helps with the digestion. I know many Dayempur Herbal customers use milk thistle as part of their allergy relief cocktail.
Yes.
And I know I use it whenever I eat too much sugar, or if I eat ice cream or those kinds of things, I will get all those symptoms you just described, plus congested. And when I take milk thistle, honestly, within 20 minutes, many of those symptoms have subsided.
Yes.
So it's a really good additional allergy relief medicine.
That's because it tonifies spleen qi, which helps with the digestion. So whenever we're having allergies, that means we're not moving something through. It's just getting stuck, whether it be our food, whether it be things we're exposed to in the environment. Our body does not have enough energy or digestive energy to go, don't come in. So we need that boost in our qi, specifically our spleen qi, to remove that dampness, to move things through and to digest easier. And that's partly, with the congestion, the red itchy eyes, all that is related. So milk thistle hits things from multiple angles. So it's truly a premier herb in that way.
Yeah, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So as Susan Kamil said, we're talking about 3 herbs today at Dayempur Farm. We just talked about milk thistle. We're focusing on 3 herbs that are tonifying and building, because at this time, even though we're in the middle of the summer, it's not a typical time that people are thinking about building their immune system and building their system per se. But with all that's going on in the world, we want to help people identify ways that they can support their system. So with that, we're going to move on to the next herb, Elecampane, which is right behind me. Elecampane is one of my favorites, and in Western medicine, we think of it as a lung remedy. Oh, look at the bee landed just in time. The bees love the flowers in our herb garden. It's so sweet. We like to be a pollinating garden as well. Elecampane is known to work as kind of an expectorant, and also promotes the healing of the bronchial tissue. So people who have chronic coughs, bronchitis, asthma, they're coming off of pneumonia, all of those things could benefit potentially from Elecampane. And so now Susan's going to talk about it from a Chinese medicine perspective.
Yes, ditto on all those. And what I love about Chinese medicine is that it breaks down why. It says why it does that, and what the energy behind that is and how it does that. So I just want to point out, I love this bee here, that this is called Inula helenium. That's its Latin name. Helenium is related to the sun, and I just love it because when these blossoms get so full and big, it does look like a sun face.
So many of the plants look like what they are and what they treat.
Exactly.
It's lovely.
And it's a great example of what it does treat. This is a tonify, qi, and drain damp herb. So it has a dual function, actually probably more than dual. It helps to build the chi. So this herb will actually, this is one of those herbs that if you tend to have a challenge sleeping at night, you don't want to take it at night. You actually want to take it during the day. It will give you energy. And the way it does that is, again, so much is done through the digestion, similar to milk thistle. It's done in a little bit of a different way though. So it does associate with the lungs and the spleen. So digestion and respiration are very integral with this herb. So it will help to tonify the chi and also drain damp. So people who have like runny noses, if you tend to have allergies, this is definitely a go-to herb for that. Specifically with like runny nose, like a faucet, like it just won't stop. This is very, very helpful. It will help to drain, kind of dry out that dampness. Not in an overly drying way, but it will also help to tonify your chi. So like we were just saying about milk thistle, it can help your body to actually say, nope, I'm strong enough. You don't need to come in, whatever that allergen is, and you know how to fight it off. So tonifying chi is really, really important in terms of a healing approach. We have to strengthen our systems. And so this can be taken multiple times a day. I often will use it if I have an allergy or I got in an environment where there's some perfumes or mold or something like that. I will go to Elecampane and I will take it. It will help to give me more energy, help to clear any of that dampness or runny nose that I might be feeling. In light of Corona, this is also really helpful for oppression in the chest or shortness of breath. Remember we said this is associated with the lungs. So very much a lung tonifying herb, and doing that through building the energy. So when we have enough energy, we can breathe a lot better. If we have shortness of breath, that means we have low chi. So these are the kinds of things that of course one can try out an herb, see how they do, or talk to a practitioner such as myself and see what we can do to help build that chi.
What we're seeing right now is the Elecampane flowers and the giant leaves. It's a huge plant, but what we actually use primarily in our tinctures is the root. So whenever we use a root to make a tincture, we wait until the second frost so that all the energy of the plant is forced down into the root system, and then we harvest the root, we chop it up, we put it in an alcohol water substance, because alcohol is a really good extractor of herbs, and it's a really good preserver of herbs. And it extracts for several weeks, and then we strain it, and then you can take it orally. So with the Elecampane, we primarily use the roots. With the milk thistle, we primarily use the seeds. And now we're going to move on to Tulsi Holy Basil, which is just down the road here. So again, we're at Dayempur Farm. I'm Terry Hickey with Dayempur Herbals. We're happy to be bringing you this series of talks with Susan Kamil, who's a licensed acupuncturist and a clinical herbalist. We work very closely with Susan in making liquid extracts for her practice, and she is a master at combining and making herb blends for her clients. So we're going to move into the Tulsi Holy Basil. Susan, tell us about Tulsi Holy Basil. I wish everybody could smell it.
Yeah, we need a scratch and sniff screen. If everyone could be here, it smells like bubble gum, actually. And this is actually an herb that anybody can plant. It actually grows really well in southern Illinois. It is an annual, so it won't come back. It won't weather the winters here. It actually comes out of India, and it's revered in the Hindu tradition. And there's a reason for that. It is considered to be an adaptogen in the Western herbal approach. Adaptogens basically, simply put, helps you to adapt. So anything that's going on in your environment, internally or externally, helps things to be more even keel. In the Chinese tradition, this is a tonify yang herb. And we know that because it's actually a peppery, it's got a peppery or very warming temperature to it. So it helps to warm or stimulate the system. This is a great herb if you tend to run cold, if you tend to feel a little depressed. Depression, again, is generally like a lower chi. Yang is the end of the spectrum of chi. It's chi on steroids, basically.
Is it kind of considered outward energy in a way?
Yes, very much
and
so.
Yin is kind of the inward energy?
Exactly, exactly. So yang herbs you're generally going to take during the day. That's the yang time of the day. And then yin herbs, you're generally, this is not a hard and fast rule, but you're generally going to take more at night when the body's calming and cooling. So like I said, this is a warming herb. We're going to be taking this more during the day, especially if you tend to run towards cold. If you tend to have, you know, added stress, if you tend to just need an ability to kind of be with things easier, or if you're having a really hard time getting over a cold or a flu, this would be a good herb to take. It's that yang energy. It's the energy that's almost the fight energy. It's like we want to move on from this cold or flu and really start to kick it out. So anything that allows for warming is fine. You can take this in the summertime. It's totally fine. It all depends on your constitution and what you're dealing with. If your energy tends to be low, if you tend to run cool, if you tend to be hot at night, like night sweats, even hot flashes, you're not going to take this herb at night. So just notice it. That's the beauty of the herbs. You get to see how they relate to your body. If it makes you warmer, if it makes you cooler, that's a great start for the awareness process and the healing journey as to what's my temperature? How do I feel when I take this?
That's one of the beauties of plant-based medicine, is we actually encourage people to be in relationship with the plants that they're taking. As Susan was just saying, if we can really tune into our body and what it needs and how our body responds to different foods and different plant-based medicines, then we can really take hold of our health. Because plant-based medicine is the same biology as our body. So it's really designed to support the healing and support the sustaining of good health. And Tulsi Holy Basil as an adaptogen, this is one of the things I love about plant-based medicine, especially adaptogens, is because it's the same biology of our body and it has a certain biological intelligence, it knows what your body needs to bring it back into balance. And it's also, as you were saying, a common herb that people take for stress relief. And let's just say we're in stressful times right now, and this might be a really good sustaining herb for people to consider in their regime.
Definitely one you'd want to keep in your home pharmacy for really anything to help with stress, in a sense, a stress that's related to low energy or not being able to move forward.
Right. And the Tulsi Holy Basil, we use the aerial part of the plant. You can see these beautiful flowers. Again, the bees love the Tulsi Holy Basil. We use the leaves and the flower. We use the top. We usually cut off maybe 3 or 4 inches at the most each time we harvest. And we make a fresh tincture out of the Tulsi Holy Basil. Almost all of the herbs that we make into liquid extracts, we use fresh herbs as much as possible. And then we dry a whole bunch of this. One, you can use it for tea, and also then we have a whole stock of our own organically grown herbs that we can use in the winter time if we need to make some more tinctures throughout the year. So anything else we want to add to Tulsi Holy Basil?
Let me check my notes. I think that was it.
Yeah.
It's definitely helpful for adapting. It's definitely revered. Oh, you know, one of the things I found out yesterday actually is that this also, because it helps to warm the system, it also, again, here we go with digestion, it helps to increase the digestive energy, which can help with diabetes. So this is a wonderful herb to take as a supplement to any diabetes regimen too.
Wonderful. That's really great to know. We've talked about digestion a lot today, and as so many of the infamous medical experts through time and history have said, all disease starts in the gut. And so if we can really tend to our digestive system and keep that healthy and moving, that's a really good thing to do. Kirsten, do we have any questions today?
Yes, we do. We had a question that was asked. It doesn't say the specific herb, but I think that it's still relevant. Would you take it daily or as needed? I think this was around when we were talking about milk thistle right before we got into Elecampane.
Great.
That is a great question. So whenever, in general, the general rule of thumb is that when you're doing a tonifying regimen, we've kind of talked some about that, but just to reiterate, these are more maintenance herbs to help to supplement the energy. If you've been sick, you're over it, and now you're wanting to make sure your body doesn't get re-sick, and really go like, what's going on that my body is even getting sick? How can we deal with the underlying pattern of disharmony with that? That's what we're talking about today, is how to build the system. So the answer with that is that those kinds of herbs you're going to be taking longer period of time. It's like an endurance. It's a marathon versus a sprint with these types of herbs. So you're going to be taking them daily, usually AM and PM, preferably not with food. And you're going to be taking them for long periods of time. When I say long periods of time, it's months at a time. So that's a good rule of thumb. And then you can just follow the package instructions in terms of how much. Generally, what I do with my clients is about 2.5 droppers AM and PM for any individual herb. And then if you're mixing the herbs, you would add it up to 2.5 droppers AM and PM. So.
And it's clarified it was specifically milk thistle, but you're saying that, you know, since these are building herbs,
it would apply to all the
herbs. Awesome.
Talked about today. Yep.
And there's another question, which is, what is the difference between mullein and elecampane in the way that they affect the lungs?
Mullein is mucilaginous. It's a demulcent, so it helps to moisturize as well as expectorate. So elecampane is more drying. So if you tend to be somebody who is more damp, and what that means is lots of runny nose constantly, really low energy, tends to be overweight, elecampane is going to be better for you. If you're somebody who just basically, you know, you have a clogged nose, it's runny sometimes, not necessarily allergies, it's not necessarily an ongoing thing, mullein is going to be a better thing for you, because then it won't dry you out. You want to make sure that the elecampane is geared towards somebody who's more on the damp side. So.
And the mullein leaf tincture, often people will take along with stinging nettle. Stinging nettle is a natural antihistamine. Mullein's a natural decongestant. I think one of the differences also between mullein and elecampane is mullein can help with upper respiratory congestion. Elecampane tends to focus primarily on the lungs. And one of the beauties of mullein, you said it's moisturizing, but what it does is it demulsifies the mucus in your system so that it can drain out of the system.
Yes.
And for anybody who's taken over-the-counter allergy relief like Sudafed and Allegra D and all those things, it tends to dehydrate your whole body. Whereas when you take mullein and something like stinging nettles, the effect that it may have is it will get rid of the congestion without drying out the entire body.
Exactly.
So there's a benefit to that as well.
And all these things are just related to who's taking it. How dry are they already? So.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh, I think that's all the questions.
So what we'd like to do is, we had promised the drawing for a hour-and-a-half consult with Susan Kamil and a 20% coupon for Dayempur Herbals products. Let's stand over here. We can show some of the products while we're getting ready to draw the names. So we have 2 additional people today that have asked questions. Thank you very much also for being with us today and for asking questions, because we love what we're doing and we love to share not only the garden but our work and the knowledge that we've gained over the years. And Susan is just such a wonderful resource to provide this kind of information for clients and patients and people who are interested in learning more about herbs. Chubbs is our friendly cat. All right, so we're going to draw we're going to draw 2 names. One name will get the hour-and-a-half consult with Susan Kamil, and one name will get the 20%. So.
Oh, we actually have a another question.
Really?
Can we take it? Okay.
In.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, you heard about the coupon.
They say I'm allergic to nettles and mullein. Would I be allergic to elecampane?
Not necessarily. Are you sure it's not the alcohol? That would be a question. We do use cane alcohol in ours, so that's a plus since it's this non-grain. It's not a corn alcohol. So, and also, what do you mean by allergic? What actually happens? And like I said, is it really the herb? Is it what the carrier is? And sometimes an allergic reaction is actually a detoxification. A healing, we talked about this last time, a healing crisis or a healing reaction. So this is where it's good to kind of touch base with a practitioner and really break it down a little bit to see what type of reaction that was. And then once we figure that out, then to see, like we were saying, if it really is the herb or if it's the carrier, and how we can always, there's always many ways to approach this. So
yeah, thank you for the question. Hopefully you'll win the consult.
There you go. Yeah.
Is there another one?
Okay, yes, we got some.
Awesome.
We've got some communication going on the screen here.
Okay.
So, yes, to answer your question, we do have milk thistle. We have all of these tinctures for the herbs that we've seen today. So,
was that the question?
there was a question about, do we have milk thistle? There was a question, do you have all of these tinctures? So we had 2 questions there, and we do have all of them.
So I want to let people know that Dayempur Herbal products like these are available in 40 stores across the country. Locally here in Carbondale, we're in the neighborhood co-op. We're also in the Town Square Market. We're in Medicap in Anna. We're in Good Life in Marion. If you go to our website, dayempurherbals.com, there's a whole list of all the stores that our products are in, and you can order it online, or you can also order them with Susan Kamil. Yeah.
And then one more, asking about the eye floaters. How long before you might notice a difference?
That is a great question, because I was hoping someone would ask that. That is long term. Eye floaters happen over the long term, usually not as children or not as young adults, but later, in the later stages of life, or in the middle to later stages of life. So it took a long time to build that pattern up. Guess what? It's going to take a while for that pattern to change. It's not impossible, but definitely herbs are the way to go for that and to work with that. So I would say to give it at least a few months, 3 to 6 months. And go
and
from
maybe
there.
longer.
And to see a change
Yeah, to
in
see a
3 to
change.
6 months, but in terms of curing it, give it a few years, maybe 2 years. So with regular dosaging.
Yeah, as somebody who has floaters, when you were talking about that with the milk thistle is one of my go-to herbs and has been for years. And I would say that over the last year, I'm just finally noticing that I don't have the floaters anything like I used to.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I was delighted to hear
That's
that,
so
because
cool.
I
That's
thought, well,
what
that's
it's
one of the
doing.
go-to herbs for me.
Milk thistle is the premier herb.
Yeah.
If any of them I would say to always have on hand, it's milk thistle
Yes,
today. I
definitely.
mean, they're all great. So.
And okay, wait,
Oh.
one more.
We have to put another name in here.
Oh,
Another
okay.
number, right? Yeah, for sure.
Bonnie, the herbs for the eye floaters was a milk thistle. And then we have another question. Which herb for lung health would you recommend for smokers? So if you have smoke damage.
Smoke damage, yeah. Well, that's going to be twofold, because you're going to be wanting to clear, like we were talking about last week, clear any of the damage, right? Residual damage, especially if someone is still smoking. And then we're going to want to tonify. So Elecampane was the one that we talked about today that really relates to the lungs.
And Elecampane does also work as an expectorant, so it can help.
There you go.
It can help clear the lungs as
Yes.
well. So.
Absolutely. And this is why you can definitely approach it with a one single remedy approach. And you can also hit it from multiple angles in one little bottle, like this, one little formula bottle. This has like 3 herbs in it. So both approaches are effective depending upon the person and what they're up for and what their history is.
Right.
So.
All right.
Okay, do we have all the...
Let's do the drawing. We wanted to keep it short this week because we got feedback that we were going too long.
So I'm just going to put a little piece of paper in there.
Yes, that'll be
to add for our 5th person.
That's right.
Yes, so we had 1, 2, 3,
I believe it was
4,
5.
5 questions.
All right.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you guys.
All
you wanna
right,
pick
I'm
for
gonna
the-
look
pick for the
away.
gift certificate, and I'll pick for the
Okay.
retail.
I'm picking for the gift certificate. And the winner is somebody who asked questions last week, and you're going to have to pronounce this name for me.
Gloria Cariapa Valdez. I think I
right.
just talked to you yesterday, Gloria. Hey,
All right, so Gloria
you
won
can give that to your niece.
The hour and a half consult with Susan Kamil, which is lovely. Here, I'll hold it for
okay. We're physical
Yes.
distancing.
Exactly.
Oops, I got 2. Okay, it was number 2 question from today.
So Kirsten's going to have to tell us about
Dun,
that.
dun, 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 dun. Okay, that was the last week question. Okay, it looks like Gypsy Lee.
All right.
Gypsy Lee, you won.
Yeah, Gypsy Lee, you'll get a gift certificate for 20% off Dayempur Herbal products. We'd like to send you an email, so I'll contact you on Facebook to get your information. So just to let people know how to get a hold of us, Gypsy, I'll get in touch with you, and Susan will connect with Gloria. Dayempur Herbals at dayempurherbals.com on the web. We're also on Facebook, and our phone number is 618-713-5996. We love it when people call and connect. It's always nice to have a conversation. And to get a hold of Susan,
it's you can contact on all the mediums. Phone is great, 618-207-5556. Or you can contact me through the website, susancamilacupuncture.com, or of course through Facebook, Susan Kamil Acupuncturist and Herbalist, or on YouTube even. We have a YouTube channel too.
Right.
Check out the videos there. Of course, Dayempur Herbals has one too. We love to keep in touch with you guys during this weird time in our history, but we haven't gone away. So we're still out here in the garden and enjoying ourselves. So
right. So thank you so much for being with us today. If you have any other special requests or questions, we'd love to keep doing this to some extent, as much as we can, and stay in touch with you to help support your health and well-being. So stay healthy, stay safe, and stay in touch. Thank you so much.
bye.
Bye-bye.